I'm on site today, guys, because this property, we have a massive problem with the builder. We don't know whether this builder is going to finish this project in time. There's 3 weeks left, and I'm here today to make that decision if they're on schedule or we're behind schedule and I'm about to lose my SHIT. Can I just say that this house has been plastered from top to bottom and the plasterers have done an exceptional job. It's drying out. Here we go, guys. If you look down here, we've still got some wet patches. It's been about 3 days. We've got no dehumidifiers in here, which I'm going to get put on site today, but I'm very happy with what's going on. Now, the reason that I'm here today is because we have 3 weeks left of this build. We've got to get the kitchen in, the bathroom in, the tiling done, the painting done, and the carpentry done in 3 weeks. Now, from the pictures that I've seen, I wasn't assured in myself, as in, I wasn't like, yes, this is going to be done. I was more like, oh, do they have the capabilities of finishing it? So I've turned up today to have a look around. I've spoken to the contractor, and the contractor has assured me it will be done in 3 weeks' time. I just need to check that it's up to date. So come with me, and I will tell you what's been done and how far we are off in my professional experience. I always said that I would shine underneath the lights, and I'm here. This is the kitchen, guys, and the kitchen's all been plastered out, all the electrics are in the right place. The kitchen can be on site tomorrow if I want it to be. It'll probably take 3 days for this kitchen to be fitted, all appliances to be put in. So this isn't really that time consuming. This is a bit of a pain. This needs to be sorted. We need to make sure that we get the new consumer unit put above the door over there. We need to get this pay-as-you-go meter taken down, and we need to get the rest of the electrics sorted. That could be a hold-up. That could be a 2-week job. In here, we need to have all the skirting board fitted, which is all here on the floor, down there. We have to have a door fitted here, which we do have. If you come into the front room, again, skirting board needs to be fitted. Architrave around the door needs to be put in, which is here. So all of this architrave needs to be fitted. And then, do you know what, actually? I don't know whether we're going to have a door there. Need to make that decision, because if we rent this out to a government-backed contract, then I will have a door, because then this will be needed to be turned to a bedroom. But what we're waiting on is the end value. We need the end value to come in first before we make a decision on which way we're going with it. In here, we need to change the front door. We need to put all the skirting on. We need to get the spotlights fitted. We need to put the sockets on the walls. This here, I don't know whether we're going to have a door or whether I'm leaving the door off, because the end user, if it reaches the money that it needs to reach, we will rent this out to a government-backed contract. If it doesn't reach what we want it to reach, it will be sold as a flip to make the profit. It's all down to the end value with this one. And it was purchased for 108,000. The refurb's coming in at 35,000, so we're 143,000 pounds. Then we've got stamp and legals and bridging costs as well. So we're going to be all in around 153. We want an end value of 175 plus. I'm hoping for a lot higher than that, but 175 conservatively based on what's on the street. Now, if we can get above 175, it means that we only have to leave between 5,000 and 15,000 pounds worth of our own money in this property. And that's the decision where we'll make if we sell, or we keep it to rent out, add it to my mentor students portfolio, or we move on to the next one. I'll keep you updated, because this is a project I want you guys to see. This was a full bedroom that led into that bathroom there, but we had this wall built to stud wall. This was where the existing door was into the bathroom, but we've moved it. They've done a really good job. The builders are on point. Everything's moving forwards in the right direction, and I do believe that this can be completed in the next 21 days. I can't see any problems. We'll go into the bathroom and I'll explain that to you. But look at these doors. These doors are from Howden's, and what's your thoughts on them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Comment below and let me know, because I think they're really nice. They're called the Daytona Oak. Not sure what your feelings are on them. Some people love them, some people hate them. I like them. We have a huge space for this bathroom. We have the boiler that was moved from downstairs to upstairs, fully functioning, working, it needs a service. We have the walls ready for the tiles, and really happy. This is where the radiator is going to go. You can see the pipes coming out of the walls for radiators. Toilet's going over here. That's where the sink is going to go, and the bath is going to go down there. Got to drill the holes for the spotlights. No, we're not changing the windows. Windows are in good condition. It's only the front door and the back door that's being changed. But we need ventilation. We need an air brick put in here, which will go out there as well. So yeah, let's go back downstairs and I'll give you my overall assumption. So where do I actually think that property is at right now? I think that we are completely in the right place when it comes to payments, when it comes to timelines. I know that we're not ahead in payments and the contractor is not behind on payments. We are slap bang exactly where it needed to be, and that was because I set out a schedule of works and a stage payment contract, and I knew that this build was going to cost between £32,000 and £35,000 with a 10% contingency, and I know when to release payments. It has bitten me in the arse in my career, where I've overpaid on multiple properties right at the beginning, and a little bit, 4 years ago, I made a couple of mistakes where I trusted contractors. They would send me a breakdown of what works had been done, and one of my managers or operation managers would make the payments. Trust is a great thing, but you also need to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So yeah, they're in a good position, the works are good, the site's clean, and now it's just the finishing touches. So 3 weeks, I think that we can have this wrapped up, done and dusted, and another project ticked off to add to the belt of my experience.
Yeah, because I think the figure that you give me was between 1.4 and 1.5, or 1.3 and 1.5.
1.4 and 1.5.
So I was just like, that's where we're at, but you just, yeah, that was it.
Do you know what annoys me with that situation? The fact that the market rent in that area is £1,250, £1,200, okay?
Yeah.
You've obviously gone in at £1,400 to £1,500 on a long-term 5-year contract for care, knowing that these guys are picking up £10,000 to £20,000 a week. A week. You're giving them a bungalow that's safe, secure, in the right location. You've even offered to modify it to what it is, and they've not even had the decency to message you back. Maybe we put it together now where it's going to be the HMO that we was going to do in the first place.
Right.
Okay, so let's get that sorted. Serena will call you after this soon for me to come up. I will bring a contractor with me, and we will map it out, and we'll get a price together to get it done. Then obviously you've got people in the trade that you can call upon. So we'll specify it to what it needs to be. We'll spec it up to what it needs to be. So we'll deal with that one. The 2 houses from the mother and father-in-law are a no-go, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the missus's house?
Well, this is the thing, it's on the market.
Yeah.
For 190.
Okay, have you had any offers?
They're talking it down, and I assume they would. I mean, it's not worth 190.
It's worth what, 165, 170?
I'd say 185 is your top end.
Yeah, that's top end. But anybody that's looking to buy it is going to be coming in at 165s to 170s.
Yeah. So, do you want me to send you the link to the property?
Yes, please. Send it on WhatsApp now, please. Mentor student Dan from up Derby way, and he has a beautiful bungalow that he wants to convert into a 6-bedroom HMO. I did introduce him to a guy that wanted to use it for a care home. It doesn't seem like that's working out, so that is what it is. So we're going to go up there next week, we're going to take the contractors up there, and we're going to get a quote from them to turn it into the 6-bedroom, all singing, all dancing, all ensuite. It's not in Article 4, it's 2 streets away from where the Article 4 boundary lies. Now, Article 4, for you guys that don't know, is a blanket that was put out by government, and it means an area where you cannot convert a house into a HMO without planning permission, And when you have permitted developments rights like extensions, loft extensions, etc., they are now no longer available. You have to go for planning permission for all of them. So Article 4 is a blanket in an area where you lose all HMO and permitted development rights, and you have to go to the council to get them. Outside of Article 4, you can convert houses into HMOs, you can do permitted developments as in extensions and loft extensions, etc., Check your local authority and see what you can and can't do. But this property falls 2 streets outside of the Article 4, which is amazing, because Derby becoming Article 4 means no more HMOs in certain areas. It doesn't mean you cannot get permission, it means it's way more difficult and it's really hard to get them through on residential roads. Now, Dan is a great guy. He's got a baby on the way, he's got a very supportive missus, they've got quite a few properties between them, and he's been around me a few months now doing great things, but he just needs to put his focus into X and get the result, which is why I'm here as his mentor to make sure he does what he needs to do. Today I've had a new operations manager start work here at my company, and he's overseeing all of my education platforms and programs. So he is coming to make sure the structure behind the scene, make sure that every member, every mentor student, every site visit program, every earn and learn partner has got a direct communication, a direct point of contact, a person that can update on everything that's going on, where we're at, and how we're moving forward in order to create the biggest property education platform in the UK. And it's his first day. He's started to call members today to introduce himself. I have Serena here as well, there's me here. I now have a one-on-one mentor meeting with Rebecca, who's sitting over there. I'm about to jump into a meeting with him, but it's his first day and we will see how he gets on. Also, I've just had a phone call from my mortgage team to say that we have had an offer on a very, very difficult case. Now, this person came to us, he needed a mortgage, and he needed a mortgage very quick because his bridge had finished. He didn't want to extend the bridge, he wanted to turn it into a buy-to-let. Now, his problem was he had some adverse credit on his credit report. He had a CCJ and 2 missed payments, and all the lenders he was going to were refusing to give him a mortgage. So we looked at his file, we got his credit report, we assessed everything that was on there, we went to 2 lenders. The ultimate outcome is he got the buy-to-let mortgage, got the offer this morning, but the interest rate's a little bit higher than what he wanted it to be. So the average interest rate on a buy-to-let right now is about 4.5%. We got him 5.8, which is on the high side, but it's fixed for 2 years. And in those 2 years, if he can show that he's made the payments, he will get a reduced rate from the lender. It's already been agreed, we've already had a conversation about it, and he is about to receive the news from me that his offer is actually in with my team right now, and it will be sent over to him on email in the next 20 minutes. So we got that done. If you guys need any help, reach out to me. I am the man that can make anything happen. But yeah, great news, fantastic day so far, and on to the next one. That's my day over. Well, my day over for the vlog for you guys. I have a Zoom meeting at 6:30 tonight with one of my finance lenders because we're trying to get a better rate. And I also have a meeting with an architect tonight at 8:30 who is looking at redesigning one of my block of flats that I own, because we want to go into the loft and we want to make more space so we can have 2 more rooms in there. So got a lot to do tonight. I'll film that for you guys and get that onto the vlog for tomorrow. But I hope you're enjoying these vlogs, and if you are, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and if you're brave enough, share me on social media. But I will catch you guys tomorrow with another vlog. Peace out.